One of the top complaints that I hear is that people feel like budgeting doesn't work for them. And every time they try to budget, they fail. Here's the truth: budgeting is simply a tool that is designed to give you control over your finances. But more often than not, most budgets are built around tracking money after it has already been spent. And the financial control that you're looking for doesn't come from watching money move, it comes from directing your money before it moves. And until that shift happens, using a tool like budgeting will always feel frustrating. And it's not because you're doing something wrong or because the tool doesn't work, but rather it's because the system that you have in place is incomplete. Why do I say that? Because I want you to think about how budgeting usually starts for you. Let's say you get motivated, right? You realize that, hey, it is now time for me to get serious about my money. There's a goal, there's something that you want to accomplish. Maybe it's a vacation, you want to buy a house, you want to buy a car, right? And you realize that you need a budget, which is a tool, in order to accomplish that goal. So, what do? You open up a spreadsheet, maybe you download an app, and then you start tracking everything: every purchase, every bill, every transaction. And for a while, it actually feels good. You feel like you have finally got this thing down. You're paying attention, you're seeing where your money is going, and you feel so much more aware about your financial situation. You feel like you're in control. But then something happens. Life gets busy, work gets demanding, your family needs your attention. And the system that required this constant tracking starts to feel like one more task on your list. And what happens? It slowly starts to fade. It's not because you stopped caring about your money, but the system depended on constant effort to maintain it. And any system that is solely dependent on constant effort is an incomplete system. You see, most budgeting systems are actually built backwards. They focus on tracking money after it's already left your account. But by the time the money has moved, the decision process is already over. You see, tracking tells you what happened, but it doesn't tell your money what to do next. Imagine trying to control your schedule by reviewing your calendar at the end of the week. You'll see what happened, but it wouldn't change what already occurred. And having control over your time and your schedule should happen before the week starts. And your money and having control over your money works in a similar way. Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Breakthrough Bestie podcast. I am your host, Angela Brock, and I'm a money strategist for women who are ready to take control over their finances. I help you change how you handle your money so that you can stop feeling stuck and start seeing some real financial progress. We are starting a new series where we're talking about how to take control of your money. And in this particular episode, we're discussing how do most budgets fail? And more importantly, what do you do about it? So let's just keep going and dive in. I want you to think about cooking dinner without preparing anything first, right? Maybe you walk over to the fridge, you take out some vegetables, and you start chopping them. And you realize halfway through you're missing something. You run back to the pantry, you look for some ingredients, you even check the recipe, and you realize you're missing more things, right? And so you adjust the recipe and it becomes something new. Here's the deal: you still make dinner, you still eat, you're still satisfied. But that entire process that maybe should have taken 30 minutes, now it just feels much more chaotic and it takes so much longer. Contrarily, like, or contrastly rather, imagine cooking when everything is prepared ahead of time, where you've reviewed the ingredients list that you need and you have everything. Everything is measured, the vegetables are chopped, the tools are ready. The cooking itself becomes easier. Now, you didn't just become a better cook, but the preparation created structure. Think about your finances. It's going to work the same way. Without structure, every financial decision is going to happen in the moment. So, whatever financial goals you're trying to reach, it's going to take a little bit longer and the process is going to feel chaotic. You'll reach them, but the process is going to feel different. With structure, those decisions become easier. When budgets fail, most people just assume that the problem is discipline. They think, I need to be more consistent, or I need to try harder, or I just need to stop spending, right? But discipline isn't usually the issue. Meaning, most of the people that I coach, or if you're listening to this, you are extremely disciplined in other areas of your life, right? Whether it's your career, with your family, responsibilities, maybe it's organizations, whatever. There is evidence of discipline in your life. Whereas when it comes to your finances, the real issue may not necessarily be discipline, but rather the financial system was never really designed to support how your life actually works. Control comes from structure. And structure, when you think about your finances, it should answer three questions, right? Whenever you're thinking about spending money or saving for a goal, you need to know these three things. One, where does this charge or this transaction or me spending this, where does this belong? What does it support? And what is it building? When you can answer those questions and the answers are clear, then your decisions become easier. It's not going to come from restriction, but rather from you being intentional about how you direct your money. So let's make this practical. Think about walking into a kitchen where everything is just scattered. You got pots over here without tops, you got pans in a different drawer, you got utensils in different drawers, forks separated from spoons, separated from knives, spices are spread out everywhere. You can still cook the meal, right? But every step is going to take longer because you have to open up all the different drawers and the different cabinets to find the tools and the things that you need in order to reach your goal, which is to prepare a meal. Now, I want you to imagine a kitchen where everything has a place. The pots and the pans and their lids are together, right? All of the utensils are organized. Spices are grouped together in one spot. The cooking becomes smoother. Nothing about the cooking has changed. The structure did. Your money works the same way. That structure is going to remove the friction. And this is where the CAP framework comes in. And CAP stands for categorize, align, and plan. To categorize your finances, it just simply means that every dollar has a place or an assignment. And when you start to align your finances or every dollar, that means that those places reflect the life that you really want to build. The plan means your decisions happen before the month happens. Before you spend, there's a plan for the money. Now, listen, this is just the foundation. We're going to break each one of these down over the next videos in this particular series. Here's what you need to know. This framework is going to help you to build upon this foundation and create structure. Structure replaces the chaos and direction replaces the reaction. And this is why so many women say things like, I make good money, but it still feels like my money is disappearing. Or they'll say things like, I'm handling everything, but I don't feel like I'm getting ahead. It's not because their money is vanishing into thin air. Their money never had any true direction or structure. And without direction, your money will always feel scattered. So I want you to reflect and ask yourself this question and then answer it honestly. Ask yourself, has my financial system been helping me to direct my money, or is it just showing me where it's already spent? Because those are two very different things. And once you identify what the structure is or is not, you'll realize whether or not you have something that exists. Because once you have structure that exists, something powerful will start to happen. You're going to stop guessing and you'll start seeing your money so clearly. And not just your bank balance, right? But the patterns that are shaping your financial life. Here's your anchor. Budgets track money, structure directs it, and the direction is what creates financial control. Hey, so if this video helped you to see your money differently, I want you to subscribe so that you can continue building habits that lead to real wealth. I want you to remember these two things. One, breakthrough starts when you decide to take control. And then two, wealth is not built by accident, it is built by the decisions that you make today. I'll see you next time.